Have you heard about Anchor? Well, it's one of the easiest ways to create a podcast. Not only is it 100% free, but it has a variety of creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or a computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast to other sites such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many others for you. And Anchor even allows you to make money from your podcast without a required minimum listenership. So whether you've been in the podcasting game for a long time or you're completely new to it, Anchor is so user-friendly that it's basically your one-stop shop for making a podcast. So what are you waiting for? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
You're listening to First Fossil. Because sometimes you simply need someone to help you take that first fossil. Hello and welcome to First Fossil, a show where we learn together how to take that first fossil toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. My name is Candace Olushala, and today I've been snowed in. Okay, well, technically I've been frozen in, but same thing. We had sleet yesterday, like I've never seen before, and we weren't ready for it. Absolutely not. That winter apocalypse was just not playing. It's not been playing, my friends. No, it's not. But you know who has been playing? The Weather Channel. Yes, the Weather Channel. And look, my mom would tell all of y'all, okay? If meteorologists, I tell her this all the time, if meteorologists would just go to assisted living facilities and nursing homes, do you know how much the accuracy in their predictions would increase? I kid you not. I'm pretty sure my grandmother's joints in Florida know when Kentucky is getting a winter storm before Kentucky does. And I don't know why we just don't use these people. They're right there. Who needs a Doppler radar when Nana Boo Boo had 2 knee replacements? I'm just saying. I really think Weather Channel and all the meteorologists out there just need to re-strategize, regroup, reconsider the resources that they're pouring into these machines, and just go down to the nursing home. They're right there. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just trying to give help us all out. Just help us all out. You know what I'm saying? Now, in other news, I just received my first dose of the Moderna vaccine last Friday. It's a proud time to be a pharmacist, I'm not going to lie, and a public health student. It's pretty cool. And so, while it's on my mind, before I even jump into today's topic, especially because I'm a pharmacist, I felt that I should just go ahead and give you guys a quick rundown of what makes the Pfizer vaccine different from the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines, okay? So let's talk a little bit about Pfizer. Pfizer, it's a 2-dose vaccine. You need 21 days in between each one. This is the one that's in those really cold temperatures that everyone keeps talking about, and it needs to be reconstituted, which just means that you gotta take the powder, there's a solution that goes with it, and you mix it. And once you've mixed it, it has a certain number of days before it expires. So the Pfizer vaccine has a 5-day time limit once it's been reconstituted to be used up. So if you've been hearing places that are like, hey, we need people to come get this vaccine because we're about to have all these vaccines expire, that's the Pfizer vaccine. And it's been shown to be 95% effective in preventing symptomatic COVID infection after both doses. So you need that second one for that efficacy to be around 95%. And it's about equally protective across different age groups and racial and ethnic groups, okay? Then you have the Moderna vaccine, which is also a 2-dose vaccine, but you have 28 days in between getting your first and second doses. It's not one that's reconstituted. It's to be in normal refrigeration. So it's less stuff to deal with when it comes to, do we have the resources to keep this vaccine at a certain temperature? We just stick it in the refrigerator. And it's seen to be about 94.1% effective from preventing symptomatic COVID infection after both doses. Again, it is equally protective across racial and ethnic groups. However, the studies showed that it was slightly lower for those 65 and older. So that's just, again, the efficacy is pretty similar, maybe a little bit lower if you're older, but nonetheless, fairly the same. Okay. Now, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, I'm sure you guys have been hearing about it. It's this miraculous 1-dose vaccine that's coming out, and people are like, hey, if I can get one and done, let's go. Okay. But it's not out yet. It's in development stages right now. And it's been shown to be 66% effective against moderate to severe COVID infections from anywhere between 14 or 28 days after injection, okay? But surprisingly, it's varied depending on the geographic location. There are varying side effects. Some people are having absolutely none, okay? The most common side effects we're seeing are things like pain at the injection site. That's what I experienced. It actually felt it felt pretty normal, when I would get my flu shot or something like that. But as the day went on, the area around the injection site started to feel tighter. So I just kept moving my arm in circles, up and down, like I was stretching in a aerobics class, and just keeping it moving. And by the morning, it actually felt loosened up enough where I didn't have an issue. So you can, pay attention to that. Kind of expect something like a injection pain experience, just because you have a needle going into your arm. So it's kind of expected. Some people also have some fatigue. They might experience headaches, muscle pain, joint pain, maybe even a mild fever. Some have reported feeling worse after their second shot than after their first, especially those who actually had COVID in the past. They're also advising that people who have had COVID to probably wait around 90 days before getting the vaccine, just because we don't really know how long those natural antibodies are really effective or up and robust. So we'll need to give that space of time. Now, if you get it earlier, that's fine. There's no right or wrong in this. It's just a suggestion from the CDC to wait 90 days. If you get it earlier, you might have signs that feel like COVID, but that's okay. Some people after their second shot also feel like they're coming down with a mild case of COVID, which lasts for a few hours, and then it seems to follow with about 24 to 48 hours of some kind of fatigue, and then they feel okay afterwards. Some people end up taking medication for that. So that's kind of to be expected if you do have those symptoms. So just be prepared just in case. I'm getting my injections on Fridays so I can have the weekends to recoup. So if you have days off that you can do something like that, you might want to arrange your appointments to where you could do something like that. But you're expected to maybe have some kind of feeling of, I don't feel so great, but that's just your immune system really rallying up the troops to build up those antibodies that you need to fight COVID in the future. Some people want to pre-medicate with Tylenol or ibuprofen before they get the vaccine because they don't want to get those side effects. The problem with that is that it could blunt the immune response and potentially reduce the number of antibodies produced. So I would advise that you would only take medication if you need it post-injection. So wait after the injection to take something like an anti-fever, like a Tylenol, or an anti-inflammatory like ibuprofen, naproxen. Those are your Advils, your Aleve, things like that. So that way you don't potentially blunt that immune response that we're trying to get your body to do to build those antibodies, okay? Now, if you're looking for more information about where to get the vaccine in your area, listen to your governor announcements to know when your group is eligible. You can also go to your local and state government websites. You can contact your local and state health departments to find out from them. And you can also check on your hospital website. You can go to your pharmacies, and you can even go to clinics to see if anyone is doing appointments to set up. I know it's been difficult for some people to get appointments for their age group, but I encourage you to keep trying if you are, and someone will get you. If you can get several phone numbers to just call, and whoever can get you in first, get it. You can also check your doctor's offices as well. Some doctor's offices are giving the vaccine. So if you have any other questions about the vaccine, you can reach out to me at hola@firstpaso.com. I'll be happy to answer what I can. And if I don't know the answer, I'll look it up for you, okay? Now, that was our health topic of the day. And now I want to go into today's topic, which is still about our health, but it's in relation to addressing being honest with ourselves, okay? So let's say that you make it seem as though things are always going really, really well. You're happy-go-lucky. You push through life. You have everything under control. Life is bliss. Jesus is your anchor. God is your witness. And you have a testimony of all the ways that you are too blessed to be stressed. Can I get an amen? Right? You have an expectation that you've set for yourself, or you feel as though others have set for you. And it's an expectation that you refuse to fail at. You'll be the best child. You'll be the best parent. You want to be the best spouse, the best employee, the top student, the most reliable churchgoer, the healthiest person, and you won't settle for anything less for yourself. Or at least that's what you've been portraying to the world. I'm talking to those of you who are living that dual life, with the outward expression that things are perfectly fine, with the internal collapsing of your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual systems. You smile when you go out, but when you're home, you're fighting with your parents. You're at a crossroads in your relationship, and you're simply trying to keep it together in case it actually tanks in the direction that you think it's going in. You absolutely hate your job, and you weep every day at the idea of having to work there a day longer. Online school sucks, and you are struggling to keep up. You're so drained that your prayer life is declining. You stopped doing your facials. You're not doing your nails. You're not doing your daily self-care routines, and you are just drained. You've noticed something physically wrong, and the labs came back revealing a new diagnosis. You have a bill that you cannot currently pay, and you're wondering how in the world you're going to get that much money in such a short amount of time. You just lost your best friend to COVID, and you can't attend the funeral. Your kids are pulling you in a million directions, and you're just trying to make it through another day of virtual learning with them. You're going through a lot. But see, you and your stubborn self just cannot take that day off from work or class because of feelings of guilt or fear. You can't let people know that you're ill since you don't want to be a burden to anyone, so you just put on that smile that is expected of you when inside you're crying because you feel helpless and alone. You can't ask anyone for money because you too prideful for that. So we ain't, that's not even an option, okay? And you're trying not to yell at your kids today or your spouse today like you did yesterday. Trust me, I get it. I really, really do. I'm someone who tends to hold things in, bottle it up and do what I believe is expected of me to do, things that I even just really desire to do, despite how I'm feeling mentally and emotionally and physically and spiritually. Because honestly, I don't like to be that vulnerable. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I'm particular about who I'm vulnerable with. So, if you're anything like that, where you try to hold it all together when you know deep down you're about to break, I want you to repeat this after me. Today, I am not okay. And you know what? That's okay. I don't have it all together. But I love myself enough to handle what I know I can today. I am not a robot. I am a human. And I give myself permission to be human today. And I will address tomorrow when it comes. But today, I am not okay. And I receive the fact that that is okay. If you have to tell yourself that 20 times in the mirror, if you need to record yourself saying it so you can play it back on your AirPods when you're on the verge of a total meltdown, or if you just need to revisit this podcast and allow me to coach you through it, do that. Do that because you deserve that. Honestly, just the other day, I had to admit to myself, Candace, today you are not okay. And that is okay. It was so nice to catch myself and acknowledge my feelings. And then, you know what? It hit me. You know how we fight for people to acknowledge and validate how we feel? Why do we not do this for ourselves more often? I mean, the same respect we want from others, we need to be able to give to ourselves first, right? So we can only love others as much as we love ourselves, and we can't be demanding from others what we don't even give to ourselves already, because that scale is unbalanced. So why don't we balance the scales today? Let's breathe. Go back and repeat those words. Meditate. Pray. Punch a pillow. Walls and countertops are not recommended. Please, no. You can cry one of those Dawson Leary is brokenhearted by Joey Potter cries. It's the ugly cry. You know what I'm talking about. You can turn off your electronics and just sit in total silence. Just love yourself today, because you need to be the best you so the world can healthfully receive all that you were created to bless it with. And on that note, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If there are any topics you want me to cover in the future or any situations that you're thinking of, DM me, post it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, hit me up on Clubhouse. On social media, I'm at First Basso, and on Clubhouse, I'm at Candie, Candie, the number 4, and then JC, which is also my personal Instagram account if you want to follow me there too. And if you want to further support, go to patreon.com/firstbasso to become a first basito. And you can subscribe to the podcast, rate it, leave a review, share this podcast with others. All that you do, I thank you for all of the support that you give me. I really, really do. The feedback has been tremendous and I've been overwhelmed, and it encourages me to do this every week. And I just love it. So thank you so, so, so much. I love hearing from you guys. Keep all the messages coming. Keep the post responses coming. I want to hear from you. So until next time, you guys, take care. Love you all. And remember, please, social distance, but don't disconnect. Okay? Love you guys. Bye.